What's going on, y'all? You're tuning into more Our Palette content. This is another Good Morning Black Biz segment. I had the honor and privilege of meeting with the creator of Unskripted TV, redefining our narratives and redefining TV, as she puts it, right? So normally our Good Morning Black Biz segments are, just me and a guest talking, but we did this on IG Live, and for some reason my audio for like the first half is terrible. So I'm going to be annotating these first few clips for like the first quarter of this segment. And then from there, I actually happened to bring in my external camera. Thank God for external mics. Halfway through the video, I turn on my external camera and you can hear me more clearly. So yeah, bear with me. I'm just gonna annotate this real quick. Let's hop right into it. So starting out, right, here's the intro introducing the creator of Unskripted TV. Her name is Folashade, and I'm just here just introducing her, gassing her up, gassing up the brand. You know how I do it, right? I gotta uplift my black businesses. We bringing people on the live here, so in a minute she's about to introduce herself, and let's just cut to that right now. Let's go.
Absolutely. So one, thank you for having me on. Definitely love what you're doing. But I am Folashade Okimokin, the creator of Unskripted TV, which is the digital streaming network that's redefining really TV. We're focused on Black content creators and merging them by working with Black-owned businesses so that we can have a free network of dope, authentic Black content that we all really like to see. So yeah.
If y'all love that, can y'all just drop clap emojis?
Hey.
I wish they had sound effects on.
They do got the clap emojis. I can't clap for myself.
That is awesome.
All right, so that was a dope introduction. Shout out to you, Folashade. Now, I dive in here asking the why, right? Why create this platform? What led you? What was the catalyst to actually developing such a great platform like Unskripted TV? Let's go cut to Folashade. Let's get the answer.
Well, honestly, media has been a part of my whole upbringing, like since I was a child. But I went to Howard University for television production. And then I ended up going to work at a news station, so like I had my feet wet, and I just felt like there were a lot of things that were missing from the Black narrative, the Black depiction. And instead of trying to simulate to what people were trying to feed me, I was like, no, I'm gonna break off. I'm gonna stick with what I already know, or what I've been learning from my education. And I'm gonna find a way to create this opportunity for us a different way. Honestly, it's about 10 years now, because the time that I really jumped out and decided that I was going to work with Unskripted was when the Trayvon Martin incident happened. Working in a newsroom during something like that, tensions are high. People are saying things that you really don't agree with, or that they shouldn't be saying anyway. And it was just like, I was going to go insane if I stayed. So I just left and was like, look, I'm going to do this on my own. I got a little boy of my own. Like I can't have him growing up and having TV being the way that it was. So that was really what kind of set it off. But that was 10 years ago. So it has definitely progressed since then so much to get us to where we are now. Roku is a great way for us to open up doors, but that's not the only way. So we have our platform. You can actually go to www.unskripted.tv right now and check out what's on. But we are also on Roku, so you can download us there as well. And then by summer, we actually expect to be on all other streaming devices too, because we're really trying to make sure that we can get into all the homes and continue to be free so that we can have all these really great content creators get the eyeballs that they need.
That's awesome. So you said 10 years in the game, right?
10 years.
Anniversary? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, that's the anniversary of us like stepping out and starting. But the real date that we launched what we have now was during the pandemic, which was October 10th, 2020. But
Okay.
that's the 10-year anniversary of like starting Unskripted is definitely coming up.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so next I dive into the question, what is it like getting a platform like yours onto Roku TV. Now, for those who have smart TVs, you may have Amazon Fire TVs, or you might have a Roku TV, right? Unscripted is a free app, a free channel that you can add to your Roku TV. So that's super awesome. I go into detail asking Folashade, what was it like getting a platform like this on Roku TV?
The great thing about creating Unscripted is that I've been putting myself out in front of the right people. Okay. So when it comes to anything that I've ever wanted, I always speak what I want. So it's like, yeah, I want to be on Roku, I want to be on this, I want to do that. And God has always placed the right people in my vicinity where I'm able to do these things a lot easier. So I can't say getting on Roku is hard or easy for anyone else, but for me, I asked what I needed, and miraculously someone came in and kind of just helped facilitate that whole process and made it really easy for me. So yeah, and the next steps are going to be even better. So I'm excited about that. But you got to have money to make money. That's the only thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And speaking of that, I know you mentioned you wanted the platform to be free. Was that something like specific that you were going for? Was that just kind of like your business model? Like you want this to be accessible to everybody to make sure that anybody can access it?
Yeah, so one of the things is that when you're talking about streaming networks, you're talking about a lot of people competing for the dollar. Yeah. We're talking about Netflix going up on their price. We're talking about Hulu going up on their price. We're talking about all these things that people had to budget and put into their budgets. And the reality is, especially if we're talking about our community, one, we barely get access on these platforms with our content. And when we do, it's like exciting, but it's like, we want more. And then two, it's like, why would I want to not only compete with these other people, but then add another price pocket to your or price to your pocket? So the reality was it made more sense for it to be free, and it has more meaning for it to be free, because then it makes our stories more accessible, then it makes our stories more authentic, then it makes our growth for us more realistic. So that's the main reason why we decided to keep it free, and that's the main reason why we're going to make sure that we keep it free.
Got it. No, I love that. I really love that. Now, just on the platform a little more, right? All these streaming platforms kind of have formats. Let me just ask it this way. What can a user find on Unscripted TV? I've viewed it before. I've been on there. I have broken TV. But like, if I was a complete stranger, what could I expect to find? Is it a bunch of movies, shows, history, documentary? What can I hope to find on Unscripted TV?
You can actually expect to find a little bit of everything. The main thing that we want to talk about when it comes to Unscripted is that we're not monolithic. So people always have these like few stories of Black people that they've seen, or even like for Black History Month, they're showing a whole bunch of slave movies. Like, it's horrible how they depict us. Yeah. So we have a show called Tragedy and Triumph, which actually features a rapper that went to Howard University, who's a new grad, who's been experiencing a lot when it comes to his career, but also his personal life, and he's sharing that journey. And you're able to watch it, and it's very compelling. And then we have other shows like Rhonda Mitchell MD, which now is a show that's been picked up on NBC. So shout out to Carolyn Pierre, Outlaw, because that show is going to be completely different and super dope. But so we have people that really have really great shows, but it's a Black doctor who is in New York, and she's running a practice. Like, you don't need, we know that it exists, but you don't get to see that as much on TV. So to see that, and the cast is just hilarious. Like, it's really fun. It's really dope. But then we have other shows like Ambitious Girl, which focuses on leap of faith Black women on their journeys to success, and then finding a younger girl that they can parallel their stories with to kind of help them along their way, to share their gems. So we have a lot of different types of shows. The list really could go on. Life of Burn. We have a documentary called Elementary Genocide that's talking about the school and pipeline. Like, we have so many things that can intellectually uplift you or have these conversations. The Fifth Element, which is about like the history of rap and wording and all of that. Like we have so many different things that you can kind of get a feel for. But then we have stuff that's just like, I just want to watch something funny. I
Yeah.
just want to sit here and I just want to indulge. And then we have some podcasts now. A few of them are cannabis based, but we have some podcasts now that are visual, that talk about a lot of things, especially when it comes to the cannabis industry and how Black people are disproportionately displaced by it, but also not a part of the actual industry. Like, it's crazy how much content that we have. And I definitely want y'all to check it out and tell me what y'all want and what y'all see. And last night we just got like 3 more submissions. So like we got a whole bunch of stuff that's about to happen off.
Yeah.
Okay, so I certainly have a lot of responses for what she just said, right? And for starters, this is actually a sneak peek into what's coming next for our palette content, but we will actually be launching canna content, specifically surrounding the cannabis industry, the legalization, certain laws in certain different states, talking about the Hemp Act. And so that's just a sneak peek into canna content from coming to our palette content soon. And it'll have a cool name, I'm sure. Something creative, the team will think of that. But I also dive into decentralizing streaming networks, and I think that's something that Unskripted is doing here, in that this gives an opportunity for content creators to have their show, their podcast, their films, their independent films, all listed on this platform. That's not a YouTube who's charging a subscription, or that's not something that, you know, suppresses content if it doesn't have that many followers. You don't have to worry about having a certain social media following. You don't have to worry about having a certain amount of subscribers to become verified and all this other stuff, right? Unskripted provides this to you willingly, and then as a user you get to experience it for free, right? So that's just super cool. Definitely check out all the segments she mentioned, what's on Unskripted. You have topics talking about relationships, talking about cannabis, talking about independent films. I honestly want to touch on this show she mentioned about this husband who his wife unfortunately passed away right after she gave birth to their child. So there's plenty of interesting topics to dive into and interesting concepts to unpack that you could find right here on Unskripted. So definitely stay tuned for that. Now we're going to jump into the full remaining portion of the video. No annotations, all streaming. Y'all tap in. Let's go.
So I was just talking with Ryan last night, actually, at it was a grand opening. Shout out to Gooder Co. They're a food waste prevention company. They had their grand opening of their headquarters. So it was a great event, networking. I met a lot of folks. Mayor Andre Dickens was there. I met Ryan, chopped it up with him. So shout out to them. More on that later. But you know, right now we're talking about Unskripted. We're talking about Unskripted. Let's see. Okay. So you're running this business, this corporation, this company, this platform. Is it like, are you like solopreneur? Are you like a three man, 3 woman team? Are you 10 strong, 20? Like what's the back end looking like? What's the team looking like?
So we have about 10 people.
Okay.
And 2 of them are interns, and then the rest of them are people that are actually doing specific roles. But the goal is to honestly start bringing in some of these content creators as part of the team as well, because obviously we want to start doing bigger productions, and we want to start making sure that we're properly protecting and liaisoning for our content creators. So we definitely want people to start stepping into certain roles that they can do. But no, we have a great team. There's Ariana, Teresa, there's another Falasha Day, there's Darwin, who's probably on social media right now, like doing stuff with this right now. So like we definitely have a nice team. It was a solopreneur type thing at first. But I've always been able to ask for what I need and find the people who are able to come in and kind of step into those roles. So I'm excited that I have such a great team.
That's awesome. It's always good to have a great team. I read somewhere, and I'm paraphrasing it, but the quote said, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together, right? And that just falls right in line with my whole motto of just community over everything, right? And I'm a solopreneur right now, technically. I'm getting help from my friends, some of my family, but on paper, it's just me. And I know all too well, like I do have a community. I definitely do have a community, but I'm definitely looking to build a team that is, specifically dedicated to our palette, et cetera, et cetera. So I totally feel you on that. And that's a blessing to have, right? To have people work alongside you, to help lift you up, you lift them up, you work together, right? You're not in competition, you're in community. So that's just beautiful. So speaking on that, then, like, what is your routine for success? So like this can be whether you do for your team or this can be you yourself. What when you get up in the morning, like what is the first thing you do that motivates you to continue to sustain Unscripted TV or all of your brands that you may have so that you can deliver this amazing product to the world?
I think it was going in and out, but I'm hoping that you were saying what's your routine for success when you wake up in the morning. Right. Okay. So usually first I try my hardest to decompress because, you don't want to just go straight into the day with too much movement, anxiety, or anything like that. So I do definitely, first thing I do is I try to decompress. And then the next thing is I am a planner person. So I have so many different planners. It's crazy. My sister just got me a new one, so I should be getting that one soon, but I've been using one that I already had anyway.
Yeah.
But I like to write out my entire day, what I need to do,
Yeah.
a whole checklist. Sometimes I'll do it the night before, but even then in the morning, I still need to go through it and make sure that it's on track. So I'll write out my checklist at the top, and then I'll put the actual times that certain things need to happen. And they have check boxes beside it, so I can check it off as I go along or redirect if I need to. And then I've been off my kilter, but Lord, normally I wake up and I do some type of exercising. Definitely about to get back on that because when you get your blood flowing, my day starts so much better. So I'm able to get up, run through the day, what you need to do, work out, and then when you come back, once you take that shower and get ready, it's like the day just flies by, and it feels like you've done so much by like noon. And I'm like, oh wow, I've done all of this. So that definitely is like the jump start to the day.
No, that's awesome. That's really awesome. I'm telling you, feel you on that. I've had to. So for starters, I'm not a morning person. Like I've accepted it in my heart and soul. I am a night owl. Like I would rather stay up till 6 a.m. than get up at 6. Like, but I've had to just train myself to start getting up earlier. Especially since I have a day job. I'm a 9-to-5 entrepreneur, so I have my 9 to 5 and then my 5 to 9, sometimes my 5 to midnight. So like I have to be more, stringent with my schedule. Totally feel you on the exercising, like even if it's like 25 jumping jacks, 25 push-ups, get those blood vessels going, right? Last time I got my physical, I was telling my doctor, I was like, I just feel unhealthy. I feel like it's hard to like get up and move. And first thing they asked me was, are you drinking water? And I was like, I mean, yeah, I guess. But water is like, so even if it's just one glass will need to lead to 2 and then 3, or maybe, if you really want to go ham, I have those friends in college that always walked around campus with like the jug and like you had the lines you had to hit them throughout the day. So I mean, but that's really important. I hope people are listening to that because sometimes the recipe for a successful day is very simple. It's just as simple as motivating yourself and just getting yourself going, because a day can lead to a week, can lead to a month, can lead to a year. And it starts simple. It really does. But thank you for sharing that. Are there any like specific just specific things that you do that you would want, if you were to tell someone, to give someone advice, like what you should do to get your day started, like maybe a specific time they should get up, should they join the 5 a.m. club, like, no.
I'm a firm believer that your routine is your routine. Just like a lot of people create things that are for them, that's for them. I've always surrounded myself with certain stuff that does motivate me. So like every year, and actually this is the first year that I have not made a a vision board yet, because I did like a digital one instead of a physical one, but I think I need to make a physical one. But I always surround myself with a physical vision board in a place that I always see it. So I have it up on my wall, like right in front. I'm in a different room, but I have it up on my wall right in front of me where I see it, where I'm sitting at my computer, and I always see it. And then there's the one from the previous year that's behind me. And no matter what, if I look up, there's something on it that's going to catch my eye. There's something on it that's going to motivate me and remind me what I'm doing this for. And I think that having reminders around you will always keep you focused with where you're going, because life will take you wherever it can. So if you don't have something else that will center you, then you'll just end up somewhere you ain't supposed to be.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I do think that having reminders around you will always help.
Got you. No, that's dope. I see people dropping love in the comments on that, so they definitely resonate with that. Absolutely, that's awesome. Okay, so I drew a blank. Oh my goodness, I hate when that happens. Okay, so we're gonna step out for a little bit and have some fun. We're talking about black business, right? So what our pilot does, of course, we always want to find ways to promote black businesses. So this question is simply put, what is your favorite black business besides your own, of course? Because mine, of course, is our pilot. That's the top one. But what's like close second, close third, or whatever? Like what is your favorite if you had to choose? Maybe top 5, top 3, top 2.
That's a great question. No matter what, I'm always gonna pick a business that focuses on amplifying more black businesses. So there are two. I really, really love Blocal, and that is a partner of Unskripted. And Blocal is focused on being a black-owned directory, the largest black-owned directory. And we have a partnership with them where we're working with their businesses, and we're going to be making sure that we can get them placements in shows and movies and everything like that. So therefore, it's like a way to find even more black businesses. And then I like Official Black Wall Street as well, because they are very similar. They have a directory as well. And I've known Mandy for quite some time. And it's just really exciting to see these businesses grow and focus and cultivate spaces where other businesses can kind of learn and grow from. So yeah, those are the ones I'll shout out right now.
That's awesome. Shout out to Blocal Search. Shout out to Official Black Wall Street. I've definitely been in contact with Markeisha Harris Minor. Super sweet, super genuine. And I haven't had direct contact with the OBWS folks, but I interact with them socially. So shout out to them. And there's plenty more in that space too, right? Besides our pilot, we have Black Dollar Network is another one. We Buy Black is another one right here in Atlanta. Shout out to Sharif. Shout out to Malik. Man, there's at least 2 more. I think so there's actually they're called the New Black Wall Street. They're in Stonecrest, Georgia. So they are a black-owned mall, essentially. So it's a physical space. You could think of essentially whatever local mall is in DC. Think of it all being black-owned. The property is black-owned. The building, the managers, I'm pretty sure even the developers. But they opened, I want to say, February last year, around December-ish. I could be wrong, but it was definitely last year. Yeah. Absolutely. They had a grand opening, and that's a physical space. So people can have, they have a food court. Like, it's literally like a mall. And so all the stores, and they shout out to it. So it's really awesome. It's definitely motivating for platforms like my own, like our pilot. And of course, like if you have Blocal Search, I can see something where these platforms that exist on the online space can definitely merge with or converge at a certain point with the physical space. So kind of creating that black Amazon feel, but also like maybe like a black owned mall. Like that's literally what they're doing. They're kind of really bringing all that together. So that's awesome. My favorite black business, honestly, would really have to be Slutty Vegan ATL. I'm not gonna lie to you. what Pinky Cole has done. She is a phenomenal woman. I have had the pleasure of meeting her in person. I've been to all of her grand openings. It's always a vibe. She is so inspirational. Her brand is it's just on par all the time and never miss. And she's helping people reimagine food. That would have to be one of my top favorites. And
Are you vegan?
I'm not, but I was actually raised vegetarian. So like, and then I have had a lot of vegan friends. I grew up in a very blended household. I'm Caribbean. I'm a first generation American. So like, I grew up with just a lot of different cuisines. But quite frankly, I am kind of a mix. I'm like an omnivore. I like vegan food. I like good food. How about that? I'm gonna put it that way. So if vegan food is good, I mean, I will definitely tear up some good buffalo cauliflower. If it tastes good, it tastes good. Like, so that's just me.
Actually, yeah, no, for a while I used to call myself a flexitarian because I was a vegetarian for quite some time and then I became a pescatarian. But then having a little kid and I'm making him chicken nuggets, sometimes I'll be like, let me try one. So I just be like, I'm a flexitarian because if I want it, I'm going to try it. But for the most part, like you said, I like good food, but I like healthy food. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah,
I haven't had Slutty Vegan yet, so I got some places to go to in Atlanta.
Yeah, definitely let me know. Definitely let me know when you are here next. I would love to connect with you, and hopefully by that time we'll actually have our app coming out soon, our palette app. And so, shameless plug, right? Our palette is, as we talked about this before, we'll talk about it later, but our palette focuses, we have a niche for college students in the college community. So like that's kind of starting there, and then just connecting people virtually to these Black-owned businesses and brands. So, anywho, moving on, right? We're at the place where we drop the gem, okay? We are dropping gems on everybody listening in. If you all want us to drop a gem, please say drop the gem. Please drop the gem emoji, share some love, say hello, say good morning, because this is really important. This is like the pinnacle of our interview, because this is where we drop this is what you gotta do to either be successful, to either support people, to be more of yourself, to whatever that is, right? What is that like home hitter? If you didn't hear anything else on this live, what should people take away from you, from Unscripted, from your platform?
So it's for all of them, because when it comes to wanting to improve yourself or wanting to increase your mental health or even your physical health or wanting to support Black businesses, the thing that you have to do is you have to be intentional, because there's no way that you can get to the next level or the next step where you're just kind of meandering around expecting for this thing to miraculously happen. Like, you really have to know, all right, this is what I want, this is what I'm gonna do, and just do it. So yeah, that's the gem. The gem is be intentional. You want to support Black businesses? Then don't buy Tide. You go buy Denobi. You want to fix your day, your schedule, so that you can have a better boost? Then wake up a little earlier and do a little quick jog. You know, like whatever it is, and it doesn't have to be a lot. You just be intentional with that one thing. It makes it easier for you to add something else onto it.
love it. That's it.
Intentionality. Y'all heard it right here. Intentionality. That hit home for me. That's a lesson I had to learn. Intentionality. That's it. Be intentional. Be intentional. That is awesome.
You're being intentional right now. Every single thing that we've done so far leading up to this has been super intentional. And I know that what you're going to do, you're going to do it because I can see it. So, like, no, maybe it's something that you got to remind yourself, but the lesson is there.
Awesome. No, that's it. That's it.
So I'm curious, how does that work? If I was a creator, right? If not just a user or viewer, if I was a creator, what could I expect in terms of IP? What does that look like? And you can share whatever you feel comfortable sharing. Like, what does that look like for how people protect their creative works?
Well, one, I always suggest that people get a lawyer. We have a really dope Black-owned lawyer named Needy who owns Nor IP. And specifically, it's about intellectual property. But when it comes to content creators coming on Unscripted, especially if they already have their content that they're bringing to us, that's their IP.
Yeah.
So we're not trying to take it. We're not trying to change it. We're trying to help them elevate it and turn it into what they want to, and be intentional with where they're trying to place it. Now, when it comes to any content that we create with content creators and that we cultivate and grow with them, then that's a shared thing. So then we work on
Yeah.
something different, and that's where we bring in the lawyer so that we can kind of figure that whole thing out.
Correct.
But yeah, no, like the whole point is for us to be able to utilize our brains and our skills to turn that into what we really need it to be. So yeah.
That's pretty straightforward to me.
Awesome. And you mentioned certain opportunity. There may be opportunities for people to work. Right? Are you looking to expand your team soon? Where would someone be able to find, like, application, or maybe like an inquiry for like an internship or a media partner or something like that? Like, where could we go to?
Well, one, if they go to the link in our bio on Unscripted or even on my personal page, they'll be able to submit content and reach out to us. But also, we will be sharing more information about everything coming up through social media and our email letter. So really just being connected is the way to get that information, because we're going to be doing these live events on Unscripted so people can actually get a feel for it, but to learn and to ask direct questions.
Yeah.
We're also going to be doing a lot of live events this month. Like, we have a show coming up on Monday. So like there's so many opportunities for people to interact with us and to learn, but then to get the experience of what they would want to do. And then when they submit, they can have all that stuff addressed and we can get right to it.
That's dope. So you're saying that we can go live on Unscripted? Is that a thing?
Yes.
I need to check that out.
So on Monday we have a show called Amadi Coming Soon, which is about a couple that recently got married, and they got married during COVID. And they decided to record their whole process from when they got engaged all the way past their wedding and nuptials and all of that. So they turned it into a great show. And I think it's a great way to showcase Black love, but also it showcases because I'm first generation too. I'm first generation American, with my father being from Nigeria, and they're Nigerian. So they had a Nigerian wedding, and then they had a traditional wedding. Like, so they showcased all of that.
Yeah.
And it lets us in on how that goes and how hard it is to plan that. And one thing I never hear from guys, I never hear like how scared they were before they proposed, or like who helped them, what boys did they talk to. Like, we only see the girl, we only get the yay, yes, like we don't get the other stuff. So this actually gives you a step in on what the guy is doing, and it's live, so they're going to be eating their dinner and then they're going to be showcasing the show. So we're going to dive right in on the show. They're going to be doing giveaways. Like, it's really going to be really dope. And then we got 2 other live shows that'll be coming up the next week. On the 22nd and the 23rd, we have Unscripted Conversations, and then we have Black Men Cry Too, which actually you might really want to check out too, because it's about Black men kind of talking about their mental health and how they've gone through their different transitions and certain things that they want to talk about. Like, I think it's a great show. We're doing that live with the creator. And then the last show that will be debuting next week is interesting. It's called Stuck. And we will have 2 super dope hosts. I don't want to announce them yet, but they're big hosts, and they're actually in Atlanta as well.
Okay.
And they're raunchy. I can give a couple hints. They're raunchy because the movie that we're debuting is called Stuck, and it's about 2 people that have a one-night stand and they get stuck. And I'll leave it at that. But it's definitely going to be fun. That's also going to be live, where people can interact in the comments and kind of play around with it. But these are experiences that we want people to have, and these are very different shows. All of them are different, so that people can kind of get a feel for the type of content that we have and the audience that we're trying to cultivate. But yeah, no, like, definitely submit so we can figure out something creative around your shows and your experience that you want on and with Unscripted.
That is beautiful. No, that is really dope. I mean, that's so many. I'm writing these down too. Make sure I get them all. Yeah, absolutely. And I know you mentioned Ahmad coming soon. I've been seeing that a while. There's a lot of posts on that. That's really cool. It's basically like you said, like they're just kind of vlogging their whole experience. That's awesome. Yeah, make sure y'all check those out. Like for real, we got Stuck coming out. We got Black Men Card 2, Elementary Genocide. I mean, there's so much good stuff. That's a great segue actually into our last segment before we wrap up, and this is the shout out segment. We got the shout out segment, y'all. Shouting them out. So before mid segment, we talked about our favorite Black business. Earlier, we talked about tools for success. We dropped gems. This is specifically like anything you feel you've left out, right? I know you just dropped the whole list, but this is, you can either shout out another platform, shout out like a special person that has helped you in your unscripted journey, and or any upcoming projects besides the ones you listed. Like if you have any others like you feel you left out, like this is a chance to really throw it out there, some little bites.
All right. Well, one, we have so many dope businesses that we're working with. I can't specify any really right now except for local and Mark Harris, because we're working on the movie with this dope director named Mark Harris. He currently has a film that's still trending on Stars. And he's actually going to start shooting a movie in April. And
Okay.
we have the pleasure of working with him on that, where we're getting product placement with Black-owned businesses throughout the entire film. So that means that when these women are walking in, when these guys are walking around, they're going to be wearing Black-owned brands. They're going to be drinking Black wines, and we feel like we're really trying to make sure that we be intentional with that film. So I'm excited about that. It's called Let Us Make Eve. Mark Harris, 1555 Filmworks. Y'all gotta check him out. He's really, really dope things. Also, we have a campaign going on, and it was supposed to be for Black History Month, but the reality is, Black History is all the time. So we have these shirts that we're selling to kind of support with what we're doing with Unscripted, but the focus is on living history, because that's what we are. We are living history. We're living history whether we're talking about the pandemic. We're living history whether we're talking about being Black, being first to do things still in the day and age. Like so we just want to make sure that we're able to wear the fact that we are living history, and that it don't stop, and that even after February 28th, we still gonna be living history. So yeah, definitely check that out too. And then check out the shows. Like I said, February 14th we got one, which is Amadi coming soon. February 22nd we have February 23rd we have Unscripted Conversations, and that conversation focuses on birthing equity. That show is very deep. We had a guy. Usually, when you think about birth and equity, you don't think about men. But we have a young man that's going to be on the show who lost his soulmate the day after she gave birth to their first son, and he's been raising their son by himself. Well, with his village, but all of it stemmed from the complications with how they treat Black women when it comes to giving birth, which is ridiculous. And then we also had an amazing midwife and doula on there. And then myself, I got tagged in. I had a C-section. I had one of those crazy stories. So, it was a very compelling episode. I definitely think people should check that out. That's on the 23rd. That's also with Black Men Cry 2. And then we have Stuck, and then we just have so many things coming up. So I definitely have like a whole list, but like I'm hoping people were able to catch on to the few things and can check them out.
You mentioned a laundry soap earlier. You said like don't buy Tide, buy something.
Denobi. So Denobi is a Black-owned brand out of Chicago. My son he has allergies, so buying certain types of detergents will break him out. And Denobi, that's specifically why they even created themselves. I wish I had the bottle to go grab and show you. But it's clean, it's clear, it smells so good. They just invited like 2 new fragrances. The name Denobi is actually from Nigeria. I believe it's a husband and wife team. Like, everything about them is just dope. I'm over here telling y'all their whole life story, but the reality is it's a really great detergent. Y'all should check it out. Dinobi, Denobi detergent. And I'm hoping that we can really get them on people's shelves or at least in people's homes, because it's healthy, it smells good, and it works so much better than what other people are using.
No. And I could definitely show you, there's a black-owned grocery store right here on Bankhead Highway. For those in Atlanta, y'all know where Bankhead is. And it features a lot of local black-owned brands. I know our black-owned brand down here is called True Laundry.
I know True.
Yeah, you know
I
True.
made a music video for them back in the day.
So that's definitely dope, because I'm also looking for other folks to put in the Black to School care package as well. So like, I'm inviting everybody. Last year we had 2 laundry soaps in there, so listen, next year we can have 3. Don't matter to me. We want to give people options, right? So I'm gonna definitely make a note of that.
I can help you with that. When you ready to start packing that up, let's talk.
Absolutely. I'll make a note of them.
Denobi detergent, shout out to them. Okay. Oh man, well, unfortunately I am out of questions, but we're definitely not out of words. Words cannot describe, what's happening here. Just thank you so much for your time, honestly. You already laid out the floor plan for where people can find y'all, what y'all are doing next. Again, I hope y'all took notes. Like, literally I took notes. Like, this is good. But yeah, thank you so much, Falashade. I really appreciate your time. Like, this has been awesome. I've had a great morning with you. It was great just greeting a black business, saying good morning to all black businesses, and just spreading positivity. So I look forward to what's next.
Absolutely. And I look forward to what's next with you and our palette. So just good morning. Get your day.
Absolutely. Good morning. Get some work done. Be intentional. All that good stuff. Yeah. But all right, y'all. That's it for me.
See ya.
You take care. Well, good morning. Get your day started. It's 10:30. If you're wow, what's that time zone? Central. If you're on Central Time, it is 9:30. You definitely got some work to do before the end of the day. So shout out to Falashade, shout out to Unskripted TV, shout out to Denobi detergent, shout out to all these platforms, shout out to Local Search, shout out to Mark Harris, shout out to all these places. We hope you have a wonderful day. So thank you for tuning into our palette. Thank you for tuning into Black Business. Happy Black Friday. We will see you next time.